Guys, so you can actually see that we're out in the middle of nowhere. There's the bridge. Found some birds, found some fish. It's a 15-inch spot. Just got here, shaking a minnow, trying to get some big old bass. But that's what we're doing right now. So hopefully more fish catches. So today is Thursday, December 11th, and I'm here to give you a fishing report on Table Rock Lake. Guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I did at Truman and kind of give you the scoop on what's going on today. So kind of under the weather, but out here getting it today. So how I did at Truman, I got 36th place. I had a big one, a 419, and a couple small ones. So was in the right spots. What I feel like I should have known during going into Truman Lake. That morning there was a big wind, and I got on main lake points, and I started throwing a Berkeley Fritzside, and for whatever reason they weren't there, and I stayed there too long. So that's one of the big keys. Don't stay in a spot too long, and I kind of screwed up because I stayed there for like 2 hours, and I should have really switched as fast as possible. There's no excuses, but you know, I just got my butt kicked, so hats off to the guys that won. But how I ended up finding them, I went on bluff walls with timber on them and started paralleling the bank, and just started catching fish. And I caught fish all day long, caught a lot of 14.5s. Guys, that Berkeley Fritzside is no joke, especially out here as well. And I'm about to get into that. So guys, I got 36th place so at Truman, but next one is here on Table Rock. I think it's March 28th or March 8th. I can't remember, but it's in March. But super excited about that one. Can't wait for that one to get here. But so let's get into this fishing report. Like I said, I have not been out on Table Rock Lake since last Wednesday. Today was the only day. The reason being is had to get some things checked out on my boat. Almost got in a wreck coming home from the solo series. A lady pulled out in front of me, and I hit the ditch and went over culvert. So we had to check the boat out, check the lower unit, all that stuff, but the boat's great. So I got out here today, and immediately I started seeing birds. So I got the old mooch minnow out, and right here, and just first cast, as you saw, that was the very first, that short video, 15-inch spot. I stayed on that one spot for probably 15-20 minutes and just killed them, just one right after another. Then eventually moved up there to a point that looked like it had some bait on it, and started throwing my A-rig around the timber. And what I noticed, I was drawing some of those bigger bass out. They just weren't really committed to it. This thing is hung up on my thing. But I use the Hogfarmer A-rig, and I usually pair them up with the mooch, not the mooch, the Mayers. I think these are the 2.8s. I really like this A-rig. The reason why I like it is because you don't get wore out throwing some of those bigger heads. And I paired those up with like a 3/16 gut dirty jig scuppy heads. So, but after that, I did catch some smaller ones. Like I said, 15 to 16 inches, and they were largemouth. The largemouth seemed to be more on main lake points. I also caught some on a Brush Creek half-ounce jig. I tried the smaller one, but for whatever reason they just didn't want the smaller one. I saw some that were down there on some, like, you're gonna have to start looking for some big rocks around that area. Bigger rocks are kind of hanging towards bigger structure, as in rocks, is what I'm trying to tell you, not the timber so much. I think they're just trying to stay warm, and they're just eating crawdads, getting protein for the winter. They're really easy to catch. If you don't have forward-facing sonar, just go out on a main lake point, get out there on that point, and just throw across the point and just kind of work it over that point. Like I said, my brother turned me on this bait. It's the Berkeley Fritzside, and as you can see, this thing has just been chawed up this morning as well. Started paralleling just bluff walls and the end of bluff walls. Nothing big, 15, 16-inch largemouth, but they are hanging by bluff walls, bluff wall ends. So I think that's this weekend, guys, that's really going to help you out. Go get you a Berkeley Fritzside, number 7. You can go in the Midnight Pearl or go back to my last video. I can't remember. I think it's Ghost Morning Dawn is what it's called. And that one, I didn't get a chance to throw that one this morning, but that one is going to be probably, I think it'll be better than what that one is, because it's a little bit translucent. But those Fritzsides, they work. If you don't have forward-facing sonar and you don't like to go do shaking a minnow, I would definitely get one of those and get you a jig. You can either go to a little peewee jig, or you can go to a half-ounce jig, whichever you prefer. They're probably going to vary in between those two right there, either a big one or a small one. So they didn't like the small one this morning, they chomped the big one. So Brush Creek Bait Company, their website will be up and running in February, so you can start ordering baits through them. And like I said, we got some great things coming for the next season, and I'm so excited to tell you guys about it. I'm not gonna unveil it until January. Me and my wife have been truly blessed, and she's the one that thought of the idea, so thank you, honey. But anyways, guys, go get you some Berkeley Fritzsides, number 7s. Midnight Pearl, Ghost Morning Dawn. Go get you some mooch minnows if you're out here. How I've been, maybe I didn't quite explain myself how I was targeting these things. I'm in the middle of nowhere, like out in the channel, and I was just looking for birds, found them, saw the bait, and all the spots and massive schools of smallmouth were just all underneath them. And you could just throw that thing right out there, work it underneath that bait, and they would just come up and explode on it. So that is a big key to try and to get a nice bag in the boat. So guys, that's all I have for you this week. So let's get into this week's Faith Talk. I'm going to tell you something that I just went through. Me and my wife recently fasted for 40 days, and what I was fasting for is that's between me and God. And the thing is, during the fast, I was fasting no social media, as in like no Instagram, no TikTok, and no watching fishing YouTube videos. I could do my own stuff. I could watch TV. And also, I drank nothing but water for straight 40 days. No coffee, no Coke, and I'm a huge Pepsi drinker. Like my wife says I can clear out like a 12 pack of Pepsi in like 2 days, and she's right, I can. So during that time, when I was fasting, I learned a lot during that time. I learned that really leaning in on God and pursuing Him and coming to Him in prayer 3 or 4, 5 times a day, and just letting God do His thing in me. and I've never been more free. I've got on social media a couple times since then, but guys, that stuff is a big, huge distraction from what you're trying to do in your life. You know, me and my wife, we generally watch TV at night, but we actually sit down and talked to each other and got to know each other more intimately, and not only that, just got to know more of our fears and what we're facing in life and what we're doing. And man, it opened up so many doors for us. Fasting, taking away something that you truly can't live without, that you think, and just leaning in on God. God will open doors for you that no man can't. I promise you that. He will start relationships for you that you never thought that you could do. And then just like telling the good news to people, you know, it's hard to speak, to tell someone about God, and I don't know why. But during this time, I've spoken to so many people about God, and, you know, given my testimony and stuff like that. And like I said, God has done an amazing work in me, and I'm truly blessed. So, guys, if you ever want to get closer to God, you know, do some fasting and prayer. It really will bring you closer to Him. And like, I'm so glad I did it, because now I feel even closer to God now, more than I ever had. And I told God, I said, I've at the end of the fast, like, I don't want to stop, because I feel like I'm going to lose this. And I heard the Lord speak. He's like, you'll never lose me. He goes, just don't get distracted by things of this world. Instead of living in the world, live in me. Come to me for everything. And He goes, I will send you down the right path and the right road. So guys, I hope you have a very blessed weekend, and I am going to get back to fishing. So we will see you next week on the Table Rock Fishing Report.